I'm tired. Okay. I feel like I look tired. I didn't get a ton of sleep last night, but man, this is the first day that I've really felt like I just want a break. Okay. This is day 10 or 11. I think it's day 10 of 75 hard and day 31 of posting 4 times a day, and I'm just beat. Okay. I'm just beat. There's so much to do every day and so much to get done that I just feel exhausted today. And frankly, I just want a day to do nothing. I know I'm so far away from that though. I know that and I accept that. I won't give up. Don't worry. This is not an I quit or I failed or anything like that type of video, but I'm tired. Okay, it is tiring. The running 4 miles the day before and then still having to go and walk today for and what is it, an hour and a half? It's a lot. It's a lot to do. On top of everything else, you still have to live your life. You got to go to the store. You got to do the dishes and sweep the house and put out the trash and stuff. I still have to do all that stuff on top of 75 hard and the 4 videos. So I'm just exhausted, frankly, but I feel okay. It's not a big deal. I'll get through. It's just one day of feeling tired. I got a nosebleed in the shower, so I kind of feel especially just like ugh right now, but it's fine. I'm excited. Hytale came out today. That's a big deal. I've been waiting for that game for God knows how long. Okay, it's been forever, and after all these years, I'm finally get to play it, and I think it'll be a big deal. And I'm hoping I can be a part of that in some way. Even just if it's a small way. My plan is to go ahead and play it today and make a brutally honest review of like first hour impression or whatever, and put that out. I suspect that most of the Hytale content won't do well. I know most people are here on the channel for Clash, but I want most people to be here for me. And what I'm going to be doing is Hytale. So I'll still make Clash stuff and all of that and interact with that, but I want to make sure people are here for me. So I don't want to stop doing variety. The moment that I become the Clash tier list guy is the moment I failed. I think I could just go back to my Overwatch channel and be way more successful. So that's where I'm at. 75 hard is really not too bad. I'm just tired. I'm just really tired today. I have a coffee though. Okay, I have a coffee. It's still kind of hot. Let's see. Okay, not too bad. I'll probably chug that and get on with the rest of what I have to do. Gonna be putting out that video about Hytale, and then also, I guess, I have no idea. Okay, that's another thing. Coming up with ideas every single day is rough, and part of me just doesn't want to do a Clash tier list every day. It feels like I'm doing it too much. Okay, but you guys seem to keep watching them, but I don't want to tire y'all out about Clash tier lists. It's tough. It's tough. I streamed for the first time yesterday, and that went incredibly well. Thank you to everyone who showed up. 24 concurrent viewers peak, which is just insane. I, for perspective, right? I went live on the Watchover that has 50,000 subs, right? I went live. I think I peaked at 25 concurrent. That shows you just how few people were there for me, right? They're there for the information and the way I delivered it. They were never there for my personality. So it's cool that people are already showing up infinitely more to this channel for the live streams, because the whole goal of this is to become a streamer, right? I want to be a successful streamer. I want to be up there in the big lights or whatever they say, that's the goal. But yeah, I've been thinking about maybe doing some longer stuff. Most of the videos are between that like 10 and 15-minute mark, and I feel like that's like the worst place to possibly compete. Fuck, I said I should not be saying at this point. 30 days in, I should not be saying 31 days. But yeah, I just feel like that video length is the hardest to compete on, when maybe I could do some longer stuff. It doesn't take too much more out of me to record an extra like 10 minutes if I have it. I might as well record longer and maybe see if that changes things, because the tier lists are all long and they seem to do well. Another thing I've really been thinking about is where do I end, and where does the entertainment begin? I think that's a really, really interesting idea, right? So my goal, obviously, is to entertain you, the person watching this video. I want you to watch me and go on the journey with me and experience what I'm doing, and also, enjoy spending time with me, right? That's the whole goal. I want us to hang out together and have a great time. Now, with that said, I'll do things and say things that I might not normally say to enable that, right? Like I might make a noise or do an expression or exaggerate in a way that is not necessarily who I would be, just chilling on the couch or in the Discord with my friends or whatever. I'm a very reserved, quiet type of person. I'm not one to be loud or obnoxious or, I don't know, say a lot of stuff often. Often I don't say anything for a long period of time, and people are like, "Where's Colin?" And I'm like, "I'm right here." I never left. I've just been sitting here. It's just the type of person I am. But that's not very good for the camera, right? That's not very good for you. Who wants to just sit in silence with some guy on YouTube? You could go, I don't know, do literally anything else with your time, and it would be more fun probably. So I've been thinking about where do I end and where does the content begin, and how much does that even matter? If I'm able to sort of like work myself up and be a hype moment and be hype and sort of deliver in that way, and it doesn't feel exhausting or draining, and I feel like I can do it for several hours a day, like, does it really matter if I show up as that, if you guys like watching that? Well, I'm not sure, because I want you to be here for me. After all, it's supposed to be a personality based channel. I'm trying to become a personality, so I should be presenting you my personality, but I don't know how to figure that out. I'm not sure anyone does, like, it's a tough thing to figure out. How do celebrities and actors feel about that stuff? Like, how much of you can you really present to the world? And I don't know. But authenticity is important, being authentic, being myself. So it's just like, where does that line begin? Am I crossing it right now by acting a certain way? Right now, I know I'm not crossing it, right? This is straight stream of consciousness, stuff I've been thinking about, stuff I've been worrying about. Really shouldn't be worrying about anything. Worrying is not good. But yeah, I think this right here is definitely me. I'm not hyping anything up, but I don't think a lot of the jokes that I crack and stuff aren't me either. I think I'm genuinely not genuinely, maybe both, genuinely and generally a funny person. I make an effort to be funny and make others laugh and say jokes and stuff. And I'll think of specific jokes that I'm like, okay, this one is going to be funny for friend A. And I'm like, oh, this one's going to get friend B. And, I try and do that. I like to make jokes and have fun and stuff. So I don't think that stuff's not necessarily not me, but I think there comes a point where you sort of cross a line and you're not acting yourself anymore. So I want to make sure I don't cross that, because it's important to me that you see me for who I am and enjoy spending time with me, because the goal here is not to get famous overnight necessarily. If I wanted to do that, I would go do some insane stuff like, I don't know, pour milk all over the ground at Walmart and slide around in it, right? That's what people do who want to get famous instantly, right? They do something so outrageous you can't possibly look away. But I'm here to find people who genuinely enjoy spending time with me and who I enjoy spending time with as well. I don't want to boot up a stream and hate every single person who's saying stuff because they don't talk about things I care about and they say weird stuff I don't care about and they're weird. I don't want that either. The whole point of this is almost like matchmaking, right? It's to find the people who I vibe with and who vibe with me. So I know that's going to take a little longer, right? That's going to take longer than if I just was like, here is 50 types of weapons in Clash Royale. Or that's a stupid example. There aren't weapons in Clash Royale. But like, here's every weapon in Siege ranked, for example. Or here's every single backstory for every operator in 60 seconds or something, just as an example. I could do something like that, every type of bird explained. I don't have any interest in birds really, but that's the type of video I was making before, essentially just about Overwatch. I could do that again and get a lot more views, but nobody would be there for me. So I just have to accept that this is going to be slower. And I think by all accounts, right, most people would say I'm doing very well. Most people never even get monetized. They never even make it to 1,000 subs, much less doing it in a month and much less doing it based off personality content alone. I mean, I literally just show up here every day, come up with some ideas, and then let it rip and record straight off the dome. Rarely do I even have bullet points. Very, very few videos have had bullet points, and none of those have even done well, right? It's all just been straight from my mind, out of my mouth, as best I can, every single day, working on improving that skill. And I think I've gotten infinitely better than I was when I started. And it's happening pretty quickly, I think in all in any way you can measure it, I think most people would say I'm doing well. But for me, it's just not enough. I demand more of myself. I want it to happen faster, but who doesn't? Who doesn't want growth to happen faster? I wish I could lose all the weight I want to lose overnight. it's been 10 days. I've only lost like 5 pounds. People are like, what? You've lost 5 pounds? Yeah, I lost 5 pounds, but damn, dude, why didn't I lose 10? You know, I guess I just have that attitude, right? I'm ambitious, maybe to a fault, to the point of being unable to accept the fact that I've done well, you know, to the point where no matter what the win is, I just don't care. 1 million views on a video felt otherworldly, right? I was blown away that happened. I couldn't believe it. But I've never touched that again. I've never gotten to 1 million views again. Sure, 500,000, and that sounds so arrogant or like dismissive, right? 500,000 views. Most people can't even begin to think of a way to make that happen. And I'm talking about it so casually, but I guess I've just adjusted to being a YouTuber, you know, and I have higher expectations of myself. And it's like, well, it got 500,000 views. Why couldn't I get 1 million on it or whatever? You know, it's why not 2 million? So I don't know. I think I'm stuck in that loop a little bit right now, and I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up or anything like that. I feel like people hear someone talk about the struggle and always are worried about that or assume that's where it's going, but it's not at all. It's just I'm being open and honest and frank with you about what it's like, what's going through my head, you know, any given day. Most of it is I'm not doing enough, or what I am doing is not right, or it's not happening fast enough. I'm doing something wrong. I guess really what I'm looking for is certainty, right? And I'd have to accept the fact that that's just not going to happen. You can't find certainty when it comes to something like this. It just doesn't work that way. You cannot get certainty. And truthfully, I think that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for myself or someone else to come in and say, yes, what you're doing will work and it will get you to where you want to go. And I don't think anyone can possibly do that. Maybe I would like some validation from somebody, you know? I don't know. Like I ask other people who are successful, more successful than I am, is what I'm going to do work? And I'm still waiting on answers from those people because I asked recently, but I think that is, I'm trying to find certainty in an uncertain world. I'm trying to find certainty in a realm where people fail all of the time. Most people will fail. Most people who want to become a streamer will not become a streamer. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation, right? They won't make it. Most people will not make it. I don't know. I've heard that like 0.7% of people even get 100,000 views on YouTube in a month. It's insane. I expect 100,000 views on every video I post, right? Like, I expect too much of myself, and at the same time, don't think I do at all. I don't think I expect too little, probably. I think I expect a good amount. I think my ambition is a good trait. I said earlier, ambitious to a fault, but I don't think that's true. I think generally, my ambition is good. I know what I want. I've set the bar incredibly high, and I will get there, right? But it's grappling daily with the idea that what if what I'm doing is not enough to get me there, I suppose. And I know I have what it takes to get there, but most people simply will not. That's just the reality of the situation. I suppose maybe it's doubt, right? Maybe it's doubt that's weighing on me that's why I want the certainty, is because I'm afraid that it won't work and I won't make it. So maybe I don't believe in myself as much as I say I do. That probably makes some sense, I think. But is it that I don't think I can do it, or is it that I am worried that what I'm doing isn't the right way? And I think that's really what it is, right? I know I can get there, right? I know I have the capability. I kind of assume that I could accomplish anything, right? I always start from that like first principle of whatever it is, I can do it. I can get it done. But am I doing it the most optimal way? Am I doing it the best way? Am I doing it in a way that can actually achieve the goal? Or do I need to change up what I'm doing? I guess I'm strategy obsessed to the point of often hindering myself from ever making real progress. I've changed strategies so often on my YouTube journey because I either didn't like what I was doing, or I was worried it wouldn't work, or wouldn't be able to get me to where I wanted to go. And that's a difficult thing to deal with, because I think I was right a lot of times, right? I think I've even ran some of those things by people, and they're like, yeah, you're probably right. This wouldn't work out this way. Or, you probably couldn't get to XYZ if you kept doing what you were doing. So in a way, that bad habit of switching strategies and constantly worrying about it has been validated in a way. But I don't think, I don't know if I should continue to be obsessed with it in the way that I am. At least this time, it's not preventing me from taking action as far as I can tell, right? I can't possibly know what I would do if I wasn't worrying about it because I don't live in that reality. But I can say I've been showing up consistently for a month, uploading 4 times a day, and have made some spectacular progress. But I wish it was more, and I want it to be more, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong that's stopping it from being more. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to figure out is I feel like it could be there. I could have more if I simply did things differently, right? So I'm constantly in that spot of how can I do things differently? I guess that's where I'm at, you know? I guess that's where I'm at. It's hard. I don't think about the 75 hard stuff too much. You know, I titled these videos after 75 hard, and so I feel like lots of people click them and don't get what they want because, frankly, the 75 hard is nothing. I don't care about it. I wake up, I do what I'm supposed to, I make sure I get it done. I double check when I'm in bed at the end of the night with Carter. I'm like, hey, did we drink our water? Did we go for our runs? Even though I know for a fact that we went outside and went for our run, you know, I was there. Okay, I did it. But I'm still double checking that stuff. I make sure it got done, all of it. And then I'm like, okay, fine. It's just not a big deal. The 75 hard doesn't weigh on me in the same way that this does. And I think maybe it's because I've done 75 hard before, or maybe I don't see it as nearly as much of a challenge anymore. But this is a real challenge. The videos, the goal I have set for myself is a real challenge, and I grapple with it daily. But that's where I'm at. That's what I've been thinking. You know, there you go. That's today's log. Day 10 of 75 hard and day 31 of posting 4 times a day. I have utterly no idea what I'm going to post today. Like, absolutely none. I haven't thought about it at all. Okay. Not at all today, but maybe we'll do a Clash tier list, and then, I don't know. I don't like doing them every day, but maybe I'll do a Clash tier list today, and then we'll stream and play some Hytale, and maybe I can get a Hytale video out, and then I still got to come up with one more. So let's get it done. Love y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't say that enough, and it hurts the channel because I don't say it enough. So I'm going to try and say it more. Sorry if it's annoying, but it's you know, it's, I got to pay the bills, bro. It's got to get done. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the rest of the videos today and tomorrow.